The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Here we go. Are we
There we
live?
go.
We're live.
Let's start again. Now we're live.
So exciting. And thank you. We've got hundreds of people pouring on here, and I'm so grateful for your patience as we got going here. But like I was saying, we're so excited to welcome you to Powtoon's VCP world premiere, the world premiere of our visual communication platform. Joining me, as you already heard, Ilya Spitalnik, our founder and CEO. Also, Daniel Nathan, joining us from our UK office, head of customer success for Powtoon. Welcome, Dan. Are you there?
I certainly am, Nick. So excited to be here. Cannot wait to show everyone what we're going to be releasing shortly.
It's really exciting. We've been working on this for a while. I know that we're all just jumping out of our seats to share this with all of you. Here's what we're going to cover today. First of all, Ilya is going to talk to us a little bit about the problem of modern communication today and how we got to where we are. Why are we even discussing a visual communication platform as a solution to those problems? Daniel Nathan, who is on the front lines with Powtoon users, with people who are changing the way they work with visual communication. He's going to share 3 inspiring stories of visual communication success. And then it's time for the big reveal. We get to show you our vision of what a visual communication platform really looks like, how it fits together. No more theoretical, high level conversation, real tactical. What are we talking about? What does it look like? And what will it do for my organization? Plus, please stick with us to the end because we're going to take your questions live so that we can get into more detail and talk a little bit more with you, the audience, about what visual communication can do for your organization. I'm just going to hand the presentation over to Ilya. Ilya, are you ready for me?
I'm ready for you.
Excellent. So I'm handing that to you.
Thank you very much. And you just tell me whether you can see my window and we're going.
We got you. We got you.
You got me? Okay. Guys, it is just such an incredible pleasure to be with you today. And my name is Ilya Spitalnik. I'm Powtoon's founder and probably one of the most excited people in the world at this very moment. It's not often that you have an audience of, I think, approaching 2,000 people that signed up for this product reveal to talk to about one of your obsessions. So thank you for indulging me. In the next few minutes, I'll try to give you a sense of why we've made this very bold step of extending our business and building something that we perceive to be incredibly important in this current era. You see, we at Powtoon believe that the greatest skill is the ability to communicate effectively. And we've created a platform that fits into a new reality, this reality right now, where our lives are dominated by visual communication, which by now accounts for more than 80% of internet traffic. You might be able to attest to that on your own mobile phones. But before we start, let me start by telling you a little story. Let's do story time, but just allow me to adjust my Powtoon capture very quickly so that you can see me a little bit bigger. There we go. So my first job, fresh out of university, was a trainee job of, I guess you could call it an analyst of sorts. I was very young. So out of the corner of my eye, I would watch this team, this neighboring team. And there were these guys who were just effortlessly closing deals left, right, and center. I have to admit, I looked at them with quite a bit of envy and quite a bit of awe. I was like, wow, how do these guys do? I could never do that. I could never do that. I was really in awe of them. Until I thought like I couldn't do it, until I started observing patterns in their behavior and learned that there was actually a science to what these eagles were doing. By the way, eagles is the scientific term, I believe, for natural born salespeople. Their secret seemed to lie in what they said and when they said it. In short, in the way they communicated. Their secret was the way they communicated. This observation triggered a lifelong obsession with turning the art of communication into a science for me. Something that I could replicate, the art into a science. I'd like to think that our visual communication platform, which we'll be presenting to you today, is the culmination of more than a decade's worth of obsessive work, making the science of effective communication available to all of us so that we can be effective at what we do. Because communication goes into everything. It's the right tool if your job involves communicating with colleagues, with staff, or with customers. Look, today's digital chaos makes communication really, really difficult for companies of almost any size. Tell me if you recognize this, okay? Where's that document from last week? Was it in my Slack? Was it my Teams channel? Wait, hold on one second. No, it was an email from, let me remember, Mike, no, it was Dennis. Where's that updated company logo? Where do we have that? Which file is that in? Don't we have an approved template for presentations here? Where's all of that? You see, these are issues that seem to arise daily. Certainly, that's what our customers tell us. And, you know, and instead of engaging and inspiring us, the messages that we send out and that we create can sometimes do more harm than good. So we make the effort to get something out, but not always the effort to get the right thing out, if you see what I mean. The right thing for the job. You know, the right tool for the job, so important. For example, an email, right? It only takes a moment to write. You can hardly notice it, but it gets drowned almost immediately if you use it for any other purpose than a 3-line response to somebody. And once you click send or share, that's usually where it ends, isn't it? You know, we have an expression at Powtoon about sending something out without knowing where or how it was received. We call it shouting into the void. You know, picture somebody standing on the cliff and screaming at the sea. It's shouting into the void. And it's what happens when you put out ineffective comms without tracking or insights in place so that you know where you stand and whether you should continue this conversation, whether you should end it, you know. All these things that I just mentioned cause bad communication experiences for everybody. Remember those eagles from earlier? Bad communication is the exact opposite of what brings them success. Look, very, very nice and easy to say these things, but then the reality is that it's so easy to burn out today. You know, we spend 3-4 hours a day on ineffective video calls, which cause time mismanagement, cause misalignment across the organization. You know, the bottom line is this bad communication problem presents a huge global challenge with one very, very clear outcome. You know what that outcome is? Productivity and revenue suffer. And no matter how big or small you are, you're suffering. And if the challenge was not caused by COVID, then it was certainly accelerated to crisis levels by COVID. This is why, after nearly a decade of helping over 30 million people and virtually all Fortune 500 companies to solve communication issues, we at Powtoon have taken the responsibility to solve this global challenge. We're going to solve this. And the visual communication platform, which Nick will present to you in a moment, is designed to give us all, one, a better way to create communications that actually work and are effective. Two, a better way to manage the digital chaos in our lives. And three, a better way to distribute and track all our visual comms so that we can actually know where we stand before we follow up or follow through. We try to help solve your organization's miscommunication, misalignment, and digital chaos by providing your teams with one powerful tool-rich platform to create, manage, and distribute and track all of your visual media. And it's visual media that breaks through the noise today. Okay, so I've hyped things enough, and I'm going to hand over in a moment. Just for the sake of full disclosure, we're going to be rolling out our visual communication platform over 2021. Many of its features are available already now, like, for example, our beloved Capture product. But you will see things gradually and more rolling out over 2021. Okay, so that's enough from the founder here. It's always good to hear from him.
Thank you. It really is.
It's nicer. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's nicer to hear from the head of customer success, I think, who can show us how enterprises are actually transforming their communication culture with Powtoon's VCP. Okay, Dan, Nick, please take it away, guys.
Absolutely. So thank you, Ilya, and really important kind of context there. And I think that those problems are problems that everybody can resonate with. I believe, Dan Nathan, I think you've got access there. I'm seeing your screen. Why don't you take it away? Tell us a little bit more about what does this mean in practice for real companies?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick and Ilya. So yeah, absolutely. As Ilya said, don't just take it from us. Let's hear from other people like you who also, just like you, run into the daily challenge of communicating effectively with their colleagues and the wider audience. So first of all, let's look at the first challenge we're going to look at today, and that is the challenge of strategic alignment. So if we look at Reshma, for example, Reshma Khan from Care International. Care International is a huge global humanitarian agency, okay? And one of the major challenges that they faced was with regards to aligning and sharing new policy, new strategy, probably challenges you're very familiar with yourselves. And they had to share it with their almost 80,000 strong network of employees made up of stakeholders, staff, donors, all across the globe in dozens of languages. The way they did this, the way that they aligned their organization originally was with email and long documents. They even actually outsourced some video creation to agencies, of course, at great cost and huge logistical nightmare. So what they decided to do is they wanted to shift from this sort of top-down text-heavy approach into one that inspires conversation, raises awareness, and of course, makes a visual impact. So they chose Powtoon's visual communication platform. And we can see that using Powtoon, they've reached out to and trained over 2,000 field officers, as I said before, in dozens of languages all across the globe, 15 different countries, and you can see a significant amount of videos that they've created using Powtoon. And if we just see what Reshma told us, Reshma tells us that Powtoon has helped me bring people to the story and vision of the region. Now, instead of a 20-page strategy documents that go unread, we can send a short summary or a video summary directly on WhatsApp using Powtoon, I might add. Now, there's a field officer in the middle of nowhere who gets what the vision of this regional leadership team is and gets what we're doing and why we're doing it. This is thoroughly inspiring stuff, probably a lot of things that maybe are starting to ring true and ring some bells yourself. Now, one of the other common challenges that a lot of enterprises and organizations face is that of internal communications. So for a huge international organization like Heineken with over 80,000 employees and I believe in 65 different countries, it can be a real challenge to align that global workforce. And maybe if we don't think about company-wide executive level updates and information, what Heineken wanted to do instead was to find a way to replace those water cooler chats. You know, the ones where you used to have it in the office. Obviously now we're all at home, but when you used to have in the office, you're having a cup of coffee or a glass of water over the water cooler, and you're exchanging stories, sharing visionary ideas, maybe having a chat regarding some innovative processes you want to sort of implement. Well, that's all gone now. And Heineken suffered badly from that. So they decided they wanted a way to allow their employees and their managers to essentially communicate with each other, what we call peer-to-peer communication. So using Powtoon, effectively, they were able to do that. It may have been something as I said, just updating a colleague on a new change or a new process or a new piece of innovation. But what they managed to do is they created over 300 videos, and they've seen, since using Powtoon, an almost 1,800% increase in the number of internal video communications that were used. And if we see what Marinka said, she says, especially now with everyone working from home, video is an important communication tool to keep up morale and align strategy across our company. I see members of our management team sharing videos to connect in a more engaging way than just sharing written messages. There we go. Now, we're going to move on to the third and final challenge, let's say, that customers and yourselves probably face, and that is the challenge of digital transformation. So change management, digital transformation within the workplace. If we have a look at Southern Water, and Southern Water, by the way, are one of Europe's largest utility providers, they basically had to undergo a series of digital transformation projects. Now, delivering water is as old as the Roman Empire itself, yet delivering on a transformation project, as a lot of you will probably know, is not so simple. So they undertook a huge amount of transformation initiatives to try and save themselves over 400 million pounds. I believe that's just over $500 million US. And they managed to do that using Powtoon. So and if we look at Chris Taylor as well, our internal communications consultant, what did Chris say? Chris said, Powtoon's visual communication platform has helped us achieve greater understanding of and engagement with our company transformation by enabling us to tell the story of that transformation in a vibrant, dynamic, and engaging way. So Chris basically told us how he needed to communicate with hundreds of employees to buy into this change project, and that in itself was no mean feat. And the employees needed to be communicated and trained on new ways of working and engaging in a dynamic way. So they used Powtoon to support their transformational needs, and it was with huge success. But listen, this is just a small sample of Powtoon clients who've succeeded and had seen great revolution of their communication strategy. Head over to powtoon.com/customers if you want to read more about it, and also about other customers who've achieved similar results. And also, incidentally, you can also head over to powtoon.com/customers and choose to talk to an expert if you want to learn a little bit more. However, we've spoken about visual communication platform. We've been speaking about it now for about 15-20 minutes, but what is it? What does it look like? So do you know what? Let's pass you back over to Nick, who's going to show you just that.
All right, I'm taking over presenting. I am sharing my screen. Can you guys see me? Do you see the visual communication platform?
Yes, we see it.
This is it. So as everybody, first of all, I want to thank Ilya. I want to thank Dan Nathan for setting this up, and for also you guys for working as hard as you've all been working, everyone in the organization, to make this a reality. I'm so excited about it. First of all, we've talked about a visual communication platform needs to have three main components to it. It needs to be able to allow you to create compelling content. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. You need to be able to manage your communications across your organization, bring some order to the digital chaos. And then you need to be able to distribute and track your communications so that you know that they're reaching the right people on the right channels with the right message at the right time. Let's talk about create. Now, of course, with Powtoon today, you could, of course, go and create a video, an explainer video. Maybe I want to make a video ad, a presentation. That's all well, we're familiar with that. As of today, we've already mentioned a couple of times Powtoon Capture, this screen capture widget that we're using here. It's a Chrome extension. It is live today on the Chrome web store. So please do check that out if you're a Google Chrome user. But that's also just the beginning. What about interactive quizzes, which will be rolling out very, very soon? Animated GIFs, infographics, all of these things available in just a click. And again, available this way through these familiar ways if you want to import a PowerPoint or use a template, which we do today, or build your own character, record your screen, all of these other options that your organization can curate for you and your role. Those things that you use the most, those things that will be the most handy for you. Character builder, marketing videos, company announcement, video polls, video quizzes, training videos. But again, this is in the realm of create. That's where Powtoon started, helping people create good communication, engaging videos and presentations. But as we've noted here, you need to be able to also engage with that. You need to distribute it well inside an organization. How might I come across some of the visual content that my colleagues are making? How are my colleagues going to come across the stuff that I'm making for them? Well, there's a few ways that might happen in your regular workflow. First of all, let's talk about assignments. There's always information, processes, new tools, things for security training for IT, things for your HR, for onboarding, any number of these things that are essential. You need your employees to engage with them. It's not just for fun that you're putting together this training. It's because your organization, for instance, let's say you're returning to work in the office after a period of restriction or shutdown. You might have new procedures. You might have new ways of working with the public. You're going to want to be sure that you can create that content quickly and get it into the hands of your entire organization and make sure that they're engaging with it. Let's talk about channels. That's right. You could have every department have its own channel inside your visual communication platform. So that, say, I'm subscribed to the human resources channel and I want to see, oh, here's their featured video. I can get their latest uploads, any playlists that they've curated. I love, in fact, we did a webinar with Hi Bob. It's an HR platform. And they told us one of the biggest use cases they've seen grow since the COVID crisis is the use of shout outs, these informal, small videos, GIFs, other kinds of visual content to just give a shout out to one of your colleagues and replace a bit of that water cooler talk that Dan Nathan mentioned before. And playlists. Let's talk a little bit more about playlists. Not only can a channel or a department create playlists and curate them on their channel, but of course, anyone for any reason could make a playlist and share that with anyone across the organization. Maybe privacy and security, you want to have that playlist available for every one of your employees because it's so essential to be compliant and to keep data secure. Team updates, I could create that for my team and share that with them. Or create my own playlist, right? We use playlists every day on Spotify, on YouTube. Why not use them at work too? And even the playing experience on a visual communication platform is different. It's not just a video and there's a play button, I played it, and what do you want? No, there's time-stamped discussion and comments, transcript that you can search through so that you do not miss the essential information. And that is only the beginning. So we've spoken about creating, a little bit about distributing. What are we talking about when we're talking about managing your communications, about bringing order to the digital chaos? Because, and as Ilya pointed out, very quickly we can lose important files in an email thread, or maybe that was sent to me on WhatsApp, or I know that's on the drive somewhere, but I guess I got to search for it. That's just one example. With a visual communication platform, there isn't any uncertainty at all. As an admin, you can put specific members on teams. You can control the brand kits they have access to, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. Specific workspace features like those create tabs that we were talking about earlier, or other integrations that you would want anyone in your organization to have on their homepage. Specific use cases, a library, a proprietary branded library of either characters or shapes or other components that you would want to put in your organization's visual communication platform right there, and you can have access to them, and shared folders, which you can share directly with people, so that I, as a user, if I click up to my projects here, right, I can see the Powtoons that I've created, a screen capture, here's a quiz, and also my folders. I can make my own folders to organize my projects, or have these folders that have been shared with me directly from the team. I mentioned Brand Kit. This is so exciting because I know this is one of the things that a lot of people run into, especially when they're working across departments. Maybe one department is coming up with text and content for something with the story that's being told, but another one might be doing the visuals. Or, for instance, we worked closely with consulting firms who are in multiple places. Now, their consultants are needing to do internal reporting, internal communications, and also making reports for stakeholders and clients. All of that needs to be branded. Every time you speak to someone, every time you communicate, you're reinforcing your brand, whether you like it or not. So if that brand is incorrect, you're reinforcing an incorrect brand. You can create multiple brand kits here for different purposes. You can share, of course, the logos, set the fonts that you prefer across your organization, the colors, even custom branded characters to use in your communication internally or externally. All of that's available here. And again, you can manage who has access to that. So no one who shouldn't have access to it does, and everyone who needs to use it can. Let's The digital chaos continues, of course, with every new tool and every new device. There's another way to engage with information, but with every week comes a new integration with Powtoon's visual communication platform, and this is the area, the apps where you would find that. Connecting to Monday or Zoom or Slack, connecting to PowerPoint, converting Google Slides or Photoshop designs into a video, using Powtoon Capture, Connect, or Quizzer. All of these will be available there. But the last and most important thing, I really think the thing that distinguishes a visual communication platform from any old other point solution out there, has to do with insights. Once you get your message into the hands of the right people, you've got it on the channels where you know they are, you've done the work to be sure you're not just sending something out, but you're sending the right thing out. How do you know how it did? How do you keep from shouting into the void, right? Insights, engagement. You can take a look at this by channel and see how people are engaging with their channels, which departments are engaging with the channels you're responsible for, the player impressions, and all of these other things. You can even look at best performing videos that you're responsible for and drill down on the individual video to understand player impressions, likes, shares, completion rates, geographical information, and so much more. This is really very much the beginning. As Ilya said, some of this is available today. Powtoon Capture, you can go download the Chrome extension today. You can import your PowerPoint. You can import Photoshop designs today. More of this is coming live very soon, over the next couple of months. And then over the course of 2021, we expect to see all of this functionality rolled out. We've been seeing a few questions coming in along the way, and I want to encourage everyone to, if you have other questions, now is the time when I get to Q&A. And I want to also thank my co-panelists for their patience while I got through that. Is this exciting? Are we excited about this? If people want to give us comments or questions in the questions section, let us know. What are you looking forward to the most? And any other specific questions that you've got on your end, that would be really, really wonderful. I am seeing here a question to circle back on the branding here.
Here's a question from James Merce from Singapore, I think. He's saying, I love your platform. I use it to make videos, but strict brand guidelines restrict me from using certain characters. Can you show me how you could address this
Yeah,
with the character builder?
Absolutely, yeah, and we've been getting a lot of questions about the character builder lately, and it's one of our newer features. It's available on the business platform, and it's available also on the self-serve platform. So this is our character that we saw from the brand kit earlier. And as you can see, this is in line with their company branding colors for this hypothetical company. They're using more of an icon type character, right? Not quite as specific, but let's unlock this character and open up the character builder so that we can see all of the things you can control. It's an amazing thing, to identify with your audience, to build that brand identity that we talked about earlier. In other words, you got a consistent branded character who's telling the story of your brand. That's a piece of consistency in the brand identity. And of course, to show diversity and inclusion, which is so important for organizations today, especially if you're working with people from different backgrounds in different locations. You're going to want to be able to demonstrate and display and resonate with all kinds of different audiences. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go to basics, and we can see we have a few options for different kind of body types. We can choose the gender, of course. Coming very soon, we'll have some more diverse body types as well. But we also have all of these different options available to us. Some that are a little more realistic looking, some that are a little more perhaps in the kind of like suggestive mode or like an icon. And there's all sorts of things we can adjust here. The face shape, the hair style, and color, by the way. There we go. Very nice. Eyes, nose and mouth, and of course the outfit is important as well, especially when you're trying to show, either a piece of professionalism or anything like that, or you want to include your logo. So let's say we've got this top, hello, and we will also use this jacket. And I'm just going to click upload image. Where did I put? Here's a logo. So, and you would adjust that down. This may not show quite so clearly because it's something of a small logo, but as you can see, that's showing up there. Again, you would go through and find your optimized image for that, and ideally in the visual communication platform, when those features go live, you won't even need to look for them. The professionals on your team can create those and distribute them across the organization. But this is just a taste. Of course, the pants, the shoes, all of that, and it's just a way to create this yourself. Honestly, it's thousands of dollars to outsource the creation of a unique character. And then the ability to animate it. Every one of these characters automatically comes with all of these animation poses and actions that are available for all of these characters. So it means that animation is baked in to the character design, all of which is a part of the platform instead of something you need to outsource and spend a lot of money and waste a lot of time with. So that's my main sort of like stroll around the character builder, why it's valuable for brand management across an organization, and how a visual communication platform makes it even more valuable for an organization.
Amazing. Thank you, Nick. Nick, while you were, there are really quite a few questions coming in. And if I may just answer a few of them, the quick ones, and then we can just move on. Mm-hmm. Fiona Sullivan, yes, you're saying that your capture does not log in from your corporate account. Indeed, it will not log in from your corporate account just yet. We will have to, since it's a corporate account, it needs to go through a certain degree of vetting, and that's going to take some time. Please go to a public account, for Fiona at public, and try and log in from there, and you'll find that it will work right away. Okay, that's for Fiona. Thomas Beeson, what is the name of the Chrome widget you're using to display yourself on the screen? That is Powtoon Capture. Mm-hmm. So please go to the Chrome store and download Powtoon Capture. It'll prompt you to log in to your Powtoon account, and you'll be able to use it right there in the same way that you would use any screen sharing software. Cheryl Brown, will I be able to import into our learning management system? Well, as you know, you can always import an MP4 into your learning management system. But truth be told, we are building plenty of integrations into LMSs, LXPs, and ultimately, you should really be using our visual communication platform as your learning management system. That's really where this can also go, okay? Then I have, 1 second, I have another question from Carlos Icos. Are you going to allow us to make other types of format other than videos in the new platform? Nick, do you think you could show that?
Absolutely, yes. So we will very, very soon. First of all, again, there are traditional ways to make a Powtoon, and I'm just going to look at home here. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gents. We're all familiar, of course, with Powtoon's templates. These are professionally designed, optimized, and we are adding new ones all the time. These are, go ahead, click, and you can get a sense of what makes a design, what makes a script. You can modify that quickly, of course, or you can be inspired by it, make something of your own. Importing is so important. Whether you've got existing PowerPoint presentations that you want to make more engaging or change their format, the ability to import live action video and use that in the background, and Powtoon capture and screen captures, which is being added to that as we speak. And of course, you can always create something from scratch as well. In the future, what we also will see, and actually, I believe this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is live today too, if I'm edit your Powtoon. Just give me a moment. We plan to be, and I believe it is live as we speak, the ability to export still images. Yes, download a JPEG is available now on the platform. So also, sometimes an animated GIF or an image is what is called for more so than a video. And that is what a visual communication platform also will allow you to do, to be agile so that you're creating the right kind of content for the right purpose. That'll say.
Nick,
Can I just interject real quickly there about the download the JPEG option there. So what you can do downloading as an image, it's particularly great. I noticed there's a lot of educators in here and a lot of people talking about LMSs and training and trainers. It looks like looking at the guest list we have. It's worth saying that ability to download as an image will allow you to essentially embed that image as a placeholder within your LMS, for example. So instead of just sort of having to wait for that Powtoon video to stop and screenshot it and then upload that as your placeholder, as your thumbnail, sorry, you'll be able to use the Powtoon platform to be able to just choose the exact second you want to export as the image, upload that into your LMS. That's your thumbnail, and obviously put the video in there as well. And lo and behold, your content will be that much more relevant and that much more searchable for your employees, for your students, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dan. Nick, could you for a moment go to Arena and just show the different options on the create new?
Up here.
Sorry.
Create new. Yes. No, I got you.
Yeah.
Yes, and so this is how.
And
obviously, when you're adding all of these other types of visual communication formats, you're going to need to address that the way that we're interacting with it. And this is the solution that we've come up with to break out video and presentation, interactive, and then to talk about specific use cases. For instance, I'm on the marketing team, so my visual communication platform might be focused around the marketing use case. But if I were in training or L&D, or if I were in HR, I would have different options available there. And again, different aspect ratios of full HD video, animated videos, Instagram stories, Facebook stories, the list goes on. And so that is, and again, this is only the beginning. A big part of how we learn what works the best is by working directly with you, the customers. So as these features roll out, your feedback is essential, telling us this is great, except could you please, oh man, I'm really just missing this. That is our guide for being sure that not only does this look good and work well and all of that, but that you're actually achieving your goals.
Well, Nick, thank you so much. Really amazing stuff. Shall we just stay and take a few more? There are literally, I don't know if there's hundreds or
Yeah, they,
there are a huge amount of questions. Alexis Gilmar, I use Powtoon for client deliverables. Is there a way to have access to the insights feature without creating a channel? Alexis, our aim is to actually have insights for every communication that you create, irrespective of a channel. You'll have the insights for every video that's created. And there was another question from Mayur Durpi. Is the VCP useful only for a single business company, or it can be used by a video marketing agency servicing clients? Yes, that is also one of the use cases that we're looking to cater for. It might take a little bit of time to roll it out, but we really want to give, especially, let's call it consultancies, the ability to work with their client roster. Okay?
Ilya, I have a question I'd like to answer here from Nidhi Jatai. Nidhi says, will training be organized by Powtoon on these new features for clients? The answer is absolutely, Nidhi. Now, as it happens, for our clients who are Powtoon business users already, or those who go on to purchase the visual communications platform, will actually be assigned their own customer success manager. There will be regular training. Both you're welcome to join a number of webinars that we do, but you will also have personal tailored training for you and your colleagues. So there will be full training for those who get involved.
I also just want to point out, I'm showing here on the visual communication platform, a learning center, which is in that toolbox where all the admin and your projects and your insights are. The learning center is where we're going to make available specific trainings and videos and tutorials that are helpful, but also it's a place where your organization can put those most important permanent training things as well, how to submit an expense and all of that. So we're hoping that not only will there be custom training as Dan mentioned on the customer success side, but that there's also content everyone can access in an easy, integrated way.
Another message, this is more of a message, but if I may just gloat for a moment, thank you, Andrea Angulo from Accenture. I love Powtoon. I use it for every communication. You make my heart warm when you say things like that.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in, who joined us, who asked questions. I want to thank our panel, Dan Nathan, Ilya Spitalnik, superstars, both of you, amazing. And I'm so grateful. You guys make it easy to do this kind of work. It's really inspiring. And I want to remind, this question did come up a few times. Yes, there will be a replay. You'll receive an email. Look for it in the next 24 hours, which will direct you back to an on-demand version of this call so that you can always access it. I recommend you watch it again, share it with your colleagues, anybody who you think might be interested. And on that page, you'll be able to fill out a form if you want to continue the conversation with one of our visual communication experts to see how your company can communicate differently. So I want to thank you one more time for joining us today. And remember, communicate differently. Communicate visually.
Communicate visually.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nick.
Have a good day.
And you'll find any kind of special arrangement that we want to maybe extend to all of the wonderful people who joined us on this product reveal. You'll find it on the launch page going forward. Just make sure to visit it, and we'll see you there. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.